Thank you everybody for making your time today, Saturday evening. We would want to have a different sort of experience in life, but experience for the day. But you've chosen for this session, so really thank you a lot. Thank you so much for coming. So, as you know, I'll just start with Harsh ji. Harsh ji is a chartered accountant by qualification, retail banker, serial entrepreneur. मतलब इतना बड़ा इनका डिस्क्रिप्शन है, कभी कभी तो पढ़ के एकदम आपने इतना काम ऐसे कर लिया है, हमको पढ़ते पढ़ते एकदम 5 मिनट चली जाती है. So I'll still take that key. So he, from heading the ICICI Bank retail lending business from scratch, to being a renowned tax planning guru, to being a finance expert on popular TV channels like ET Now, CNBC, Z Business, to writing columns in Business Standard, to even conducting workshops on taxation and personal finance. So I think Harshji is like donned every bit of a hat there is for an entrepreneur to get on. He's even co-founded the internet startup apnapaisa.com. And now he's here to lend his treasury of understanding of personal finance, taxation, with everybody. So today we're going to talk about gold. So, sir, मेरा वो हर बार क्वेश्चन होता है कि why do we only talk about gold or something that has recently run up in the past, जैसे I still remember, if अभी जितना gold का अभी बात चल रहा है कि I want to buy gold or we want to shift to gold, wasn't really the case 6 or 7 months ago, or probably 8 or 9 months ago. Okay, Shailesh is saying a bit louder. Okay, I'll try. So it wasn't really that case. मतलब एक साल पहले अगर आप बोलते कि do you want to go get into gold, nobody would have really thought about it, or 3 years ago or 4 years ago for that matter. So, and suddenly now gold rallies. There is this whole news of इतना unpredictability है, currency depreciate हो सकता है, there are XYZ things. So what is it? मतलब ऐसा क्या है? What is it that you think? क्यों ऐसा होता है कि हर बार कोई चीज महंगी हो जाती है फिर हम खरीदने जाते हैं उसको?
Good. I think that's a great starting point, Jinay. Good evening, everyone. I think we are nearing participation. It is like hiring a hall. So we're still at about 86 participants. And let's hope that we don't run out of space. Jinay, you asked कि why is there so much interest in gold? Obviously, क्योंकि अभी भाव बढ़ा है, okay? And classic investment theory tells us, okay, a good investment, okay, सस्ता खरीदो महंगा बेचो. But interest कब आता है? जब महंगा हो जाता है, okay? And normal investor normally ends up महंगा खरीदो सस्ता बेचो, because जब वो सस्ता होता है हिम्मत नहीं होती और खरीदने की. So these are some of the things that we will cover. Absolutely. In fact, let's start off with.
Absolutely. So I would just jump in one thing here that I just realized is this is what is called experience. You are a chartered accountant at the batch of 1983, and I am born in 1990. This is experience. Like मेरा 30 years ये earth पे है to just understand कि why are people buying it so expensive? 37 years of being a chartered accountant and being in this finance and personal finance space makes a huge difference. So we'll like Harshji said, we'll start with a poll that I'm running right now. Is should you invest in gold right now at 50,000?
Okay, let's run the poll.
Yeah, so the poll is live. Okay. क्या बात है? This is one of the fastest poll, ना? मतलब एकदम था everybody's giving there. Okay, I'll just close the poll now. 3 more seconds. So these are the results. So surprisingly, शायद sir आपका comment सुन लिया. Saying no.
Okay. So
Next time we get started, before your comment. So
so I think 2/3 of the audience is saying we should not invest when gold is at 50K. Okay.
correct, sir.
Okay, so let's start with the topic for today. My answer to this obviously will, we will take the 30 minutes in this webinar to arrive at that answer. Okay, but we know that the audience thinks that one should not buy at 50K. So before we start the webinar, some disclaimers. These are unfortunately required for anything to do. One, this is not meant for professional investors. This is meant for lay investors. Anything we say here, this does not constitute investment advice as it is defined in SEBI investment advisor regulations. Please, before you do any investment, disinvest from any investment, please seek advice from a proper SEBI registered investment advisor. Okay, and I think with that out of the way, let's get started. Okay, I think key is gold is something that's extremely interesting to all of us. Okay, because सालों से, हजारों सालों से we have been looking at gold, real estate. I think these have been the two traditional investment mode for all Indians world over, actually, not just in India, but definitely in India. Now, of course, in the last 30-40 years, you now have financial instruments, financial investments, equity, fixed income, debt instruments, fixed deposits, etc. All these are now available. Okay, and I think it would be very interesting to see how these financial instruments have fared in terms of the returns given by them along as compared to gold. Okay, typically I think most people think that gold is a very safe investment to do. Okay, and so let me ask, I think people generally feel कि gold का भाव गिरेगा नहीं. Okay, so my question, simple question to the audience before we get in, we are going to look at that, but मैं audience को prejudge करने के लिए कह रहा हूं कि does the audience feel that there ever has been a 5-year period, okay, over which the value of the gold reduced rather than appreciated? So let me repeat, and please run the poll, Jinay. This is poll 4.
Sure, sir. Sir, one more thing. You're not visible. आपका camera on नहीं है, so the participants are not able to see.
Is it?
Yeah, I launched the poll.
Camera is not on, is it?
Yes. It is not visible to the participants, sir.
Not poll 2. I wanted to run poll 4. Doesn't matter.
It is visible. Okay. Sir, it is visible. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, 5 more seconds. And here it is.
Okay, so 40% people feel that gold always gives positive returns. Okay, and 60% feel that gold does not always give positive returns. So in fact, now let me ask another question, right? Ki over 5 years, okay, does it always give positive? At least 5 साल तक आपने अगर रखा है, तो will gold always have given positive results? Let me ask the audience what they feel. Can you run poll 4, Jinay?
Yes, sir.
Let me run that. Let me run that.
Sir, I'm running it. No problem.
Okay.
So, has gold ever made a loss?
Okay, can you please answer that? Has gold ever made a loss over a 5-year period? 5 साल पहले खरीदा, 5 साल के बाद भी जितने में खरीदा उससे कम भाव था, ऐसा कभी हुआ है क्या? पिछले 20-21 सालों में कभी ऐसा हुआ है क्या?
Okay. 10 more seconds before I close the poll. So here it is, sir. 50-50.
Okay, so there is the result. I think 50% people feel, more than 50% people feel that there never has been a 5-year period जबकि gold अपने capital से कम था. And that answer is wrong. And we will come to that when we come to compare the results. But let me tell you upfront, that answer is wrong. Okay, so let's get on. So let us look at the returns. I think ultimately, whether you should invest in one asset class or another asset class, what you want to see is what has been the historical results, right? So that is what you really want to see. Okay. So let us look at the returns of gold. We have got the prices from Indian Bullion Jewelers Association as compared, and the prices of Indian Bullion Jewelers Association is also used in pricing the sovereign gold bond. Okay, and we will compare this with equity, and equity being represented by the Nifty 50 total returns index, which is the Nifty plus the dividends. So that's an index that is computed by the National Stock Exchange. So this is the 1-year return. All calculations are from June 30th, 1999 up to 22nd July 2020. If people have some questions, I would suggest that you please put them in the question. There is a thing there for questions, or you can put them in the chat box and we will take them up. Definitely, we will try and answer all the questions. So for now, if you look at 1-year return, any 1 year, you can pick any date between 30th June 1999 to 22nd July 2019, because it would have to complete 1 year on 22nd July 2020, right? Any 1 year if you pick, okay, there are roughly 5,000 such 1-year periods. In that, the Nifty, the worst possible performance of the Nifty was minus 55%. 1 lakh invested became 45,000 rupees, and that period was from 20th November 2007 to 20th November 2008. The worst 1-year period for the gold was minus 17.9. This was 19th June 2001 to 19th June 2002. The maximum, the best possible 1-year performance was doubling in the Nifty. 1 lakh became 2,07,000. This was between 23rd April 2003 to 23rd April 2004. In gold, best possible 1-year performance was 1 lakh becoming 1,76,000. This was on 15th May 2005 to 15th May 2006. On an average, Nifty made 17.9% per annum. On an average, the gold made 15.8%. Standard deviation is a thing that we use basically to measure how volatile the returns are, how much they change. And very clearly, equity is more volatile. Higher the standard deviation, more volatile it is. So the Nifty is clearly more volatile than gold over a 1 year period. Now let us come to the 5-year period that we had discussed. And all those, I think 53% said that there never was a negative period in gold. Oh, it has gone to some, I think more than 50% people said that there never was a 5-year negative period in gold. I told you that is not true. Please go look up 7th June 2012 here. 7th June 2012 to 7th June 2017, the gold price fell by almost close to 5% per annum. Over 5 years, you're talking of a 25-26% depreciation. Not a simple, it's not 5% absolute. So there are about 4,000 such periods, 5-year periods, where the minimum of equity was minus 1%, and that was the famous 23rd March 2020, which means 23rd March 2015 to 23rd March 2020, and that was minus 1%. So, I mean, that was the worst possible value, okay? But the worst possible was that it just almost held its capital, whereas in gold that was not true. Maximum is it became almost 1.5 times, 47.2 equity. Gold maximum is 28.4%. On an average, again, equity gives 15.6. On an average, again, gold gives 13.1%. If you will look at the deviation, that is there is not too much of a difference moment you move to a 5-year period. Very interesting if you look at 10 years. Now this shows a 10-year period. In a 10-year period, the minimum Nifty was about 5%. The minimum gold gave was about 7.5%. Okay? And that happened barely 15 months ago. Remember, the lowest 10-year performance of gold happened between 20th March 2009 to 20th March 2019, and that was a 7.5% per annum return. Okay, the maximum for Nifty was 10-year was between 11th May 2003 to 11th May 2013, roughly 22.4%. Gold very similar. Look at the averages, very similar. Look at the standard deviation, very similar. So moment you compare over a long period, you will find that the return from gold it holds its own as compared to equity. That is what it seems to suggest, that over shorter periods, of course, both gold and equity, both of them, they're very, very volatile. Okay, so they're not really for short term. And when I say short term, I'm talking of 5 years, 3 to 5 years is short term. But at 10 years, 8 to 10 years, which is long term, okay, there gold and equity both seem to be equally good investments. But one thing you can very clearly see, I mean, those of you who think gold is like a fixed deposit, उसका भाव हमेशा बढ़ते रहेगा, वैसा नहीं है. डेटा आपको दिखा रहा है वेरी क्लियरली कि शॉर्ट पीरियड में ये शेयर्स के जैसा ही है, इसका भाव घटेगा, इसका भाव बढ़ेगा, इसका भाव घटेगा. Over long periods, 8 to 10 years, it does well. It has done well in the past. ये जो रिटर्न्स है, एक ये सारे रिटर्न्स के बारे में आई हैव टू मेक दिस वेरी क्लियर स्टेटमेंट, ओके, कि द रिटर्न्स फ्रॉम गोल्ड आर नॉट as what is shown there simply because we have calculated the returns based on IBJA prices. Now, IBJA prices do not take into account many things, and those are, so first of all, in gold, part of the returns are purely domestic. They will not be seen internationally. Why? One, because as Jinay mentioned, there is a depreciation of Indian rupee versus the dollar. Main part of the return over the last 6-7 years has come from the stratospheric increase in customs duty. तो customs duty जो हुआ करती थी 250 रुपया पर 10 ग्राम 98 या 99 में, आज 12.5% है. ओके, so the value of your old gold which came in, obviously it includes the customs duty. लेकिन कल अगर customs duty सरकार कम करती है, because smuggling has become so high, तो अगर सरकार customs duty कम करती है तो gold का भाव भी गिर जाएगा. So part of the appreciation in gold, please remember, has come from the government increasing the customs duty. The other big thing is the transaction cost. The prices don't include the transaction cost. The IBJA prices does not include. None of the prices include the transaction cost. जब आप खरीदेंगे तो 3% GST लगेगा आपके. Very high storage costs है. You will have to keep, if you have an appreciable amount of gold, you will have to store them somewhere. You will have to insure it. You will have to deliver it properly. Take delivery properly. All this means that, plus one big thing about gold which is not there in equities is that the difference between selling price and buying price is huge. The same jeweler, when he sells the gold to you, he sells it at a much higher rate. When he is going to buy it back from you, it is at a much lower rate. This is not there in equity. Even in equity, this is called a bid-ask spread. Okay, bid is the price at which the say the person is willing to buy. Okay, ask is the price at which he is willing to sell. Okay, the bid-ask spread is there in equity also, but it is never so high. And the last point, the capital gains tax on gold is far higher than it is on equities. So because of all these issues, the returns that I have given you, actual returns from gold, will be lower, definitely lower than equity, because of all these points. Very high transaction costs, high storage, high insurance, high delivery, very high difference between buying and selling, high taxation. These are the things that lead to, and the price is very dependent on the customs duty and the dollar rupee parity. So, this is the background behind, comparing gold and equity. Now, if you want to invest in gold, okay, what are the options that are available? Okay, one is jewelry, two, gold bars, gold coins. Third could be this new thing that has become very popular now, the MMTC PAMP digital gold. There are others. There are quite a few e-gold options that are available in the market. The only reason I mention MMTC PAMP separately is because MMTC PAMP has the only refinery that is approved by the London Bullion Merchants Association. So it is good delivery. The gold from here is considered good delivery on LBMA. A gold mutual fund, a gold ETF. The difference between gold mutual fund and gold ETF is that the gold ETF is quoted on the stock exchange. Gold mutual fund, the mutual fund house takes just like any other equity mutual fund, debt mutual fund, regular gold mutual fund. Then of course the sovereign gold bond, which has been there with us for the last 4 years. Another very interesting option which we will talk about is buying gold and tendering into the gold monetization scheme. That's another way of investing in gold. I will ask people, okay, what is their view? Do they have? We will go through them, but before we go through them, can we run this poll, Jinay? Okay, poll 3 this is, okay. Jinay?
I will run it. Sir. Just
Yes, sir. Sorry, वो थोड़ा network issue. I'll just run it.
Just run poll 3.
Yeah, here it is.
So what I'm asking is, are you using any of these options? So I know that there are quite a few of them there. Okay. So jewelry, are you using jewelry as an investment option? Jewelry not for personal use, but jewelry purely for investment purposes. Gold coins, gold bars, digital gold, gold mutual funds, gold ETFs, sovereign gold bonds, buying physical gold and tendering in gold monetization scheme. I see some people who have done that as well.
Yeah, sovereign gold bond. MMTC. Jenny Jacob says that none of the above should have been an option. Okay? We'll take that opinion. You know? We'll incorporate it. Thank you. So I'll close the poll in the next 10 seconds. Okay, sir, I'm closing the poll. And your results.
Okay, so you can see that majority of the lot of people invest through gold coins and gold bars. A lot of them also invest in jewelry, both partly for personal use, partly as an investment. Okay, a lot of people use gold mutual fund. Lot of them use gold ETFs. Okay, and a lot of them, I think the biggest number, does it through the sovereign gold bonds. Okay, and there are 3 people who have actually heard of the gold monetization scheme. More than hearing, they've actually used the gold monetization scheme. We would definitely like to talk to them at the end of the webinar to find out what has been their experience. So what we are going to do now, okay, is that I'm going to give you for each of these options our views on each of these. What are their pros and cons for each of these options? Okay, what we feel about each of these options. So if you look at jewelry as an investment option, so any investment, as you know, there are basically 3 criteria: returns, risk, liquidity. At fee only investment advisors, we have added a 4th, convenience, because I think convenience has an impact on all the 3. It has an impact on return, it has an impact on risk, it has an impact on liquidity. So we've just added this 4th parameter, and on these 4 parameters we'll compare each option. So if you look at returns, jewelry as an investment option, returns, 1, I think concerns about purity means that you may not get what you paid for, which means your returns might be, you may pay for 22 karat, you may get 18 karat. Okay, extremely high making charges, very high making charges. very high difference even between the gold, even after reducing the making charges, even in the gold repurchase, the difference between sale and repurchase rates are very, very high. In fact, a lot of jewelers don't even offer repurchase. They only offer change. They don't offer repurchase. In terms of liquidity, of course, it's very liquid. So, I mean, I'm not talking of the price at which you will get, but can you get money quickly? Of course, it's very liquid. So that's a great point. But as I said, the liquidity comes at a cost, which is the very high difference between the sale and the repurchase rates. In terms of convenience, obviously, monthly SIPs are not possible. See, remember, we saw that all these are very volatile asset classes. Okay, both gold, the price goes up and down, shares price goes up and down. So one of the best ways to invest in them is through a systematic investment plan. And that's obviously not possible when you invest in jewelry. In terms of risk, again, I think the real risk is the concern about purity, the theft risk, or you can call the high insurance costs. One big thing that jewelry has, as my wife tells me, okay, you cannot gold bond kaan mein latka ke nahi ja sakte hain. Okay, so this something that jewelry has that no other investment in gold has. You can actually use it. You can actually enjoy the usage. Okay, so the physical enjoyment, and obviously it also is a social prestige. It's a social signaling device. It's a social prestige enhancement as well. So conclusion, it's a very poor investment avenue. This is not a comment on its use for personal consumption. As an investment, it is a very poor investment avenue. आपने आज खरीदा, आप शोरूम के बाहर ले गए, 100 रुपए में खरीदा, शोरूम के बाहर ले गए, 80 से 75 रुपया आपको वापस मिलेगा. 5 मिनट बाद आप वापस जाके उसको बेचेंगे, आपको 80 to 75 is what you will get for jewelry. So as an investment, jewelry makes no sense at all. So gold bars and gold coins. So here very clearly there is moderate to low making charges. The purity concerns are much lower here, and if you go to good jewelers, you will get what they promise you. But again, there is still a high, it's not as high as jewelry, but there still is a high difference between the sale and repurchase rates. In terms of liquidity, again, high liquidity, but again, there is a difference in the sale and repurchase rates. Again, monthly SIPs are again not possible. And one point I want to cover here. People will talk about these schemes that jewelers have, that you deposit monthly fixed amounts. Okay, that is not a SIP, because you are not investing in gold. It is a deposit scheme. It remains in rupees. If the price increases, you will only get for the rupees that you invested. So it is not a SIP in gold. It is just a recurring deposit. So monthly SIP in gold is not possible. Obviously, there is a theft risk with this as well. Again, there is a physical enjoyment. So, I mean, we have a tradition in India where, you know, when you do Diwali Puja, you will bring out the gold coins, and there are again social signaling devices which a gold coin and a gold bar will have, which is just not there in any financial instrument. So it is not a bad investment avenue. It's a decent investment avenue. It's not bad. Unlike a jewelry, because the making charges are not so high and the difference between resale and repurchase prices are lower than what they are for jewelry, this is not such a bad investment option. What about this new, animal, if I may call it, the digital gold, okay, MMTC PAMP being the one that is the probably the largest. I'm not sure. I think it is the largest. It definitely is the most well known, primarily because of the parentage. MMTC and PAMP being a very large Swiss company. This is a joint venture between them. But there are others. There are other e-gold. There are other refineries. So e-gold is not exactly only available from MMTC PAMP. It is available from other areas as well. How does it compare against what we just saw? So one, there is a very high surety about the pureness. I think you get what you buy. So if they tell you it's 0.995, if they tell you it's 0.999, that's what you will get. The making charges are pretty reasonable. In the case of MMTC, I'm told it's about 1100 rupees per 10 grams, which is reasonable. Liquidity, again, very high liquidity. You can sell it back to them. Again, I think they play very coy in terms of telling me. I could not find. I have been struggling to find what is the resale price. Okay, I have spoken to a lot of the e-gold companies, but I'm told that the difference between sale and repurchase is far more reasonable than it is what you will get in the physical market. It's very convenient. So, I mean, you can go to Paytm and buy 1 rupee worth of gold. Okay. So imagine you're going to a wedding and you want to give gold as a gift, and the gift you want to give is 500 rupees. Now you can give a gift for 501 rupees in gold. Okay. Now that is the kind of convenience they have, but it works at small amounts because of the fear that, see, one of the things we must remember about gold, I mean, I think it is there later, but let me take it up here. When we invest in gold, it is not like investing in equity. When you invest in equity, you are increasing the productive assets of India. When we invest in equity of an Indian company, that Indian company is going to use to increase the GDP of the country. When you invest in gold, you are increasing the GDP of Australia. You are increasing the GDP of South Africa. Fortunately, at least their country is friendly to us. Okay. Imagine if gold was being mined by China. Okay. Would we still be talking about gold in this unemotional manner? Okay. So I think one thing one must remember, that the investment in gold does not lead to an increase in the productive capacity of the country. So to that much extent, there will always be government controls around this, which is the issue which I started with, that all digital gold, if all the platforms have limits, so you cannot buy more than 2 lakhs, you cannot do SIPs of more than 15,000, those kind of limits are there. Risk, well, this is a new thing. We don't know. Some things you just don't know till they happen. E-gold is probably a 3-4 year old phenomenon. It has become popular only over the last couple of years. It's a new model. We don't know what is the risk. And as advisors, we are reasonably conservative. What we don't understand, we do not recommend. This is not true of digital gold. I'm not saying that, but very clearly, I think there might be risks in the model that we are not aware about. And I think one needs to be cognizant of that. One needs to remember that. E-gold is an excellent option for smaller investments. Excellent, very convenient. You can do SIPs. You can convert it into physical gold. Okay. So it's a very convenient option, reasonable prices. Next, come to the gold funds. as distinct from gold ETF. Gold ETF, you buy, sell on the exchange. Gold funds, you buy from the mutual fund house, just like you buy any equity fund. The return, on the return part, again, you are extremely sure about the purity because this is a bulk buyer. He makes sure that he buys gold of great quality. Making charges are low. Again, he's a bulk buyer. But there is a cost. The mutual fund charges an asset management charge, and those gold funds which have ETFs, which feed into the ETF, there is a small double charge. Okay. In terms of liquidity, very high, because just like any other mutual fund, you give it back to them for redemption, your money comes back. It is assured. Okay. Only issue is up to 1 year, there is most gold funds that I have seen, up to 1 year, there is an exit load, typically 1%. So they want to discourage short-term investments. Convenience, extremely, this is the most convenient option. You want to do 5 lakhs a month, you can do it. Very convenient. It will come hit your account every month, give you the equivalent gold units. It's completely online. There is no maximum investment limits. So it is a great option to build gold investments conveniently. There is an expense involved. We come to gold ETF. Okay. And let me give you my views on gold ETF. Again, like the gold fund, obviously the quality of gold that they have is good. They obviously pay less charges. They're pretty expensive. And I think people forget that people just look at the expense ratio and they say gold ETF is cheaper than a gold fund. What people forget is that there is no liquidity on the stock exchange. The difference between the price at which you can buy the ETF and price at which you sell the ETF is so high. It is far, far higher than any small little money that you might pay to a gold fund. So very clearly, it is a pretty expensive place. You have to pay brokerage as well, but I'm not really talking about the brokerage. I think it is the issue is also about the liquidity, because the liquidity is dependent on the secondary, and there is, as I said, the difference between the selling price of the ETF and the buying price of the ETF is high. Okay. The actual cost for you is very, very high. Again, in terms of convenience, SIPs are not possible because it is on the exchange. Later on, we will talk about SIPs that people do on the exchange. Okay. People do SIPs in stock on the exchange. We will talk about that. Okay. But online, otherwise it is very convenient. You can buy a gold ETF through your regular broking account. Obviously, there is no maximum investment limit. And as one gold manager told me, the difference between gold ETF and a sovereign gold bond is that a gold ETF is backed by physical gold. Okay. But in my opinion, a gold ETF today makes absolutely no at all. Okay. If at all you are capable of buying from the exchange, you are much better off buying a sovereign gold fund, rather a sovereign gold bond, rather than an gold ETF. That is my very clear opinion. And if we have questions on that, we will discuss it in the end. Now we come to the latest instrument on the block, the sovereign gold bond. So one of the beautiful things about the sovereign gold bonds is that the 3 things that reduces the return. What are those 3 things? The transaction costs, the making charges, the GST, the making charges, okay, the capital gains on sale, all these reduce the return on your physical gold or on an ETF. All these three are taken care of in the sovereign gold bond. Because it rides off a synthetic price which does not have GST in it. So you buy without GST and you sell without GST. You make the returns within that, and they are tax exempt. And tax, mind you, can make a big difference. Another beautiful thing is if you buy during the issue, there is a 1% discount if you purchase it online. Other thing is that it is also available at a discount in the market. And we will talk about why it is available at a discount in the question answer session. I would like to talk if somebody is interested. Okay. There is income. Unlike all other instruments, sovereign gold bonds actually pays you to invest in gold. Forget cost. It's actually paying you. It's 2.5% taxable, but it is paying you to invest. Okay. And as I said, the capital gains are exempt on maturity. If you want, so liquidity is an issue with sovereign gold bond in the sense, of course, loans are easily available, but if you go to sell, it's just like the ETF. If you go to sell, okay, the difference in the bid and ask prices are high. But on maturity, it is not a problem, because on maturity, you will get the price prevailing on that day. So after 5 years, on the anniversary interest payment dates, you can render it back and you will get the price prevailing on that day. So I think the liquidity comes after 5 years. It is there earlier, but the cost can be pretty high. Convenience, again, the only issue is monthly SIPs are not possible. Risks, it's backed by, it is an issue of the government of India. But end of the day, please remember, the government of India has taken a naked risk on this. They don't have gold backing this, right? So tomorrow, okay, it would be interesting. We have done research so far from the issue number 1 to so far, about 42 tons of gold, sovereign gold bond. Okay, and how do they issue it? It would be very interesting to see the mechanics. Okay, they say issue it at 2.5%. They treat it like a government security. A normal 5-year to 8-year government security, say, would have gone at 6.5%. Don't hold me to those rates, but let's say it would have gone at 6.5%. On the gold bond, they're giving you 2.5%. What the government is doing is at the balance 4%, it is putting into a fluctuation reserve, okay, which it will use to pay for any appreciation in the value of the bond. Okay. Now, clearly, if you assume that what rates have happened in the last 1.5 years, then that 4% is not going to be enough. That 4% per annum is just not going to be enough. Last 1.5 years, the prices have just gone bonkers, right? But we don't know what will happen. They will all fall due later on. So there are those who believe that they don't want to depend on the government, because this ultimately adds to the deficit of the government if gold prices go out of whack. Okay. So to that much extent, it is not backed by physical gold. It is only backed by the government of India guarantee. As far as I am concerned, I would trust the government of India guarantee, because if the government of India does not pay, we have far more problems than the small amount of sovereign gold bonds that we might hold. And I did mean that this was meant for retail investors. These are not meant for investors who have invested 10 tons in the, they are not allowed. There is a maximum 4 kgs that is allowed. For a retail investor, 4 kgs is enough. I mean, we are talking of 2 crores. It's 4 kgs per annum. Okay. And per person. So, I mean, if you are a bigger investor than that, I don't think this webinar is the right place for you. So I think the conclusion very clearly is that the sovereign gold bond is ideal investment vehicle. Tax exemption on maturity, avoiding transaction costs. Okay, everything works for the sovereign gold bond except that SIPs are not easily possible. Then this interesting option that a client taught me. Okay, and we have 3 people here who say they do this, that they buy physical gold and give it into this very little known and only written about in the press. Sometimes I feel that the gold monetization scheme is meant for people like me so that I can write articles on it. Okay, I don't know a single client who has managed, and I have, believe me, my clients have tried. Okay, and so these 3 people, we will definitely want to give them an opportunity to find out what they did. But I mean, gold monetization scheme is like a lollipop that the government has given, but is too afraid to actually give it to the child. Okay, because again, the government is naked on that. So what happens is, obviously, the interest income on a gold monetization scheme, unlike a sovereign gold bond, the interest income is also exempt. The capital gains is also exempt. So it avoids one of the problems. The upfront costs are there when you buy the physical gold, but at least the maturity pay, there is no tax. So one of the issues it avoids. Liquidity, because it is so little, there is no liquidity in terms of me transferring to you, because so few people have gold monetization scheme. Where is the question of a transfer? But after 1 year in a short term scheme, after 3 years in a medium term scheme, and after 5 years in a long term scheme, liquidity is very much possible and very easy. But it is in convenience. I mean, this product drops dead on convenience. Okay, it is not available. So there is one branch of State Bank of India in Bombay, okay, called the Bullion branch, which is located in Bombay Samachar Marg. One of my actually braved through everything to go find where this, in the Bullion branch, he was directed from one desk to another. Okay, and ultimately he got so frustrated, he said, I will not put it in the gold monetization scheme. In terms of risk, is the same. I mean, it is backed by a sovereign guarantee. The short term thing is backed by the bank guarantee. The medium and long term is backed by the government guarantee. Okay, but again, it's not backed by physical gold. Conclusion, I think effectively this scheme is not available. So we don't really need to analyze whether this works or not. But my point is, although I'm being very flippant about this, this has the potential of being good if that, and there have been various articles, various committees have been set up on how to make the gold monetization scheme more easily available. Okay, so it will happen. So this one is a placeholder. Please remember, when we have this webinar a year later, probably this will be the star of the show. It could be the star of the show, depending on how it happens. So we're coming towards the end, right? I think exposure to gold is justified both purely on financial reasons, like you never put all your eggs in one basket. So some exposure to gold you should have. Also on cultural, I mean, we will actually need gold. Okay, when marriages happen, when children are born, we will need gold. So you might as well invest in gold. Okay, so some exposure to gold is clearly advisable, but it needs to be based like anything else, like equities, like fixed income. It needs to be based on an overall plan, on the risk profile, gold tenure, availability of resources. What we typically say is 5 to 10% of your portfolio, depending on your risk profile, overall plan. When your goals fall due, you can think about investing in gold. And because, so now we answer the, should you buy gold at 50K? Okay. This is like answering abhi equity no su lage che, to abhi gold no su lage che, right? To those of you who don't understand Gujarati, gold kya lagta hai, sab market mein kya lagta hai, okay, gold ka kya lagta hai? The real answer to that is I to definitely don't know kya lagta hai. I doubt anybody knows. Okay, point is, you as a retail investor, you should not get into this timing the market. Let me buy, when either when it is rising so it will rise more, or when it is fallen, बहुत गिर गया अब खरीद लेता हूं. Timing does not work. जो भी इक्विटी है, गोल्ड है, जो प्राइस ऐसे 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 होता है, उसको कभी भी never do a one time purchase. Always do systematic. You don't have to worry about timing. You are not purchasing, you are not doing your entire exposure today. So today is 50k, don't worry. You are only buying 1/50th of what you want to invest. Maybe you are going to do a SIP over 5 years. You are going to do a SIP over 8 years or 10 years. So you should not worry about the timing. I would not recommend buying one time at any price. Forget at 50k. And 50k is a high price. So I think a lot of wise people here said that 60% of the audience, I said that they don't want to buy. Okay. So as I said, like equity exposure, this should be done on a monthly systematic investment plan. So final conclusions: gold can give returns equal to equity over long term, 10 years. Okay. Transaction costs and capital gains tax can be eliminated. And I think sovereign gold bond does that best. And therefore this pitch, obviously sovereign gold bond has not appointed me as their agent. Very clearly it is the features of the product which makes it nice. The issue with sovereign gold bonds is it does not allow SIP. SIP is essential to invest in gold. It is like, you being allowed to buy the Nifty, but not being allowed to do a SIP in the Nifty. Okay. And therefore SIPs in a gold fund, that is the via media that we found for clients. That is what we are encouraging our clients to do. I have clients who say, oh, I will buy this every month. My broker has this basis. I will send him 50,000 rupees every month. I will send him 1 lakh and he will buy accordingly, whatever comes in 50 and 1. My earnest request to all of you is not to underestimate the power of kill it, shut it, forget it investment. Okay. That power overcomes a lot of issues. And that is why we say, set up a SIP into a gold fund, continue for a year because there is an exit load. After 1 year, whenever a new issue comes out, okay, or maybe at that time you want from the market, now this is available to you without an exit load, exactly that much money you remove and put it in sovereign gold bond. Okay, that is what we are saying. Take advantage of the monthly investing habit. That is far more important than the savings that you will do in expenses or the small 1 year interest that you might get on a gold bond by investing immediately. And of course, there are those investors who say, no, we will do this. In which case, of course, every month fixed amount, not fixed grammage, fixed amount, 50,000, 1 lakh, whatever investments, whatever is your SIP amount. Okay. Put that, and if your broker is able to do that for you, excellent. Please remember, discipline, discipline, discipline. If that is possible for you, and I find very few investors who are able to do it, no matter what they say at the beginning. Remember, this is not for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. You're talking of discipline over 120 months. Remember, there are going to be birthdays, there are going to be family events, there are going to be sad events, there are going to be typhoons, there are going to be national events. I mean, if you feel so confident that you will continue to do this through these events, please go for it. Most important, pre-decide your allocation to gold, pre-decide how much you will invest. Never ever invest because it has run up. Never ever invest. This question, if I wish I made $100 for every time somebody asked me, is this a good time to invest in X, Y, Z? Is this a good time to buy a house? Is this a good time to take a home loan? Is this a good time to buy gold, sell gold? There is no buy. I mean, please plan in advance. Okay, this is an investment. You don't do it at the spur of the moment. Any decisions you take based on the spur of the moment are likely to be wrong. I know this is very boring, right? Make a plan, do a save. मजा नहीं है इसमें. Where is the fun? कि एक साल पहले ना 2019 में 30,000 था, तब सोना खरीदा था मैंने, आज 50 हो गया, देख मैं कितना स्मार्ट हूं. Okay, now that pleasure you never get in a sip, right? But what happens in a sip is slowly you're building wealth, right? The guy who said 30 to 50 never talks about when it became 50 to 30. Okay, so, and it will invariably happen because, I mean, timing is not something anybody has done right consistently. Okay, in fact, when you get it right, you should be very wary because you have taken up the odds and you have done the other side of the averages, now going to be on the negative side. The other interesting thing that you should look at, people don't consider, we don't, for example, when clients come to us and say they have jewelry, we don't even take it as an asset because you're not going to sell. But a very interesting thing is happening. People not all the jewelry that you hold has an emotional connect. Some part of the jewelry, in fact, most women will keep on changing, right? Consider, ask, even if you want to do it, consider converting that into a sovereign gold bond. So your personal asset turns into an investment. Okay, that's a possibility, not an easy possibility to do. Okay, my wife is sitting right beside me hearing all this, so I'm going to be having a discussion with her after this. I'm not sure what will happen, both to me and to the investment. Okay, that is it from me. A very quick word on fee-only investment advisors. I'm getting dagger looks from the side. Okay, what is it that we can do as a company? We are a comprehensive investment advisory firm. We help you do financial planning, asset allocation. Okay, we'll work out your risk profile, goals, available resources. We will recommend suitable instruments. We help you in executing those investment recommendations itself. And as our name suggests, we work only on fee only. So fees, no commissions. Every money that we make from our clients. There are no commissions in anything that we do. Thank you. You've been a great audience. I am going to throw it open for questions. And maybe shall I shut off the presentation now?
Yes, sir. As usual, it's like power-packed presentation. I mean, completely power-packed. There is no two ways about it. मतलब ऐसा है कि it was houseful. I mean, I was getting messages. I'm sure, Saurabh would have also been getting messages from a lot of his friends that, yaar, hum andar aa nahi pa rahe hain, because the limit has been reached. Like, next time. I mean, and I'm pretty sure that even participants who are in this webinar today, उनको भी ऐसा होगा कि ये दिल मांगे मोर, हम next time ही वापस आएंगे, and probably, जो बाहर रह गए वो next time आ पाए कि नहीं आ पाए. So I think it was
Thank
amazing,
you.
absolutely amazing, sir. Superb. So before starting and throwing open the dais to Q&A, I have a couple of things. जो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि let me ask you first. So the first question, I couldn't resist is आपने बोला ना कि if somebody asks me, if this is a good time and ... in question. So if you really know, I mean, feel कि तो अगर आपको कोई $100 देता, how rich would you have been today? If the way that you've been hearing, if somebody asked me that time, how richer would you be today? क्या हो गया sir? I think he's got frozen. Sir, am I able to hear you? No, I think that was a very direct question. मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा है कि sir will be going and it might be counting a bit here and there. So in the chat box, I want everybody, just come and tell us, how did you like it? What is it? We've got a lot of comments. So yeah, I mean, great to have you, sir, back. So I'll continue with my question again. कि how rich would have you been? कि अगर आपको हर बार वो $100 मिलता, would you be richer than Mukesh Ambani, Elon Musk, or let me take a highest one. I think Jeff Bezos.
I don't know that. Thank you. I mean, the one question that because I did loans for a lot of time in my life. Okay, that is this the right time to take a loan? And my standard answer to that was that to take a loan is when you want to buy a house. I mean,
Correct.
I can understand you asking, is this the right time to buy a house? How can the question, is this the right time to take a loan? Let's get back to our subject.
Correct. So I'll just come up with one question that has been hovering around my mind. हम हर बार equity को क्यों गोल्ड के साथ कंपेयर करते हैं? आई मीन isn't there any other benchmark? जैसे आपने बोला ना कि वो गोल्ड कितना हुआ, क्या लगता है, इक्विटी में हम बोलते हैं क्या लगता है, सिल्वर में हम कभी नहीं बोलते, और किसी चीज में हम कभी नहीं बोलते. Why is it? I mean, what is it that drives us to that point?
Okay, so दो चीजें हैं. फिक्स डिपॉजिट में भी नहीं बोलते ना, क्या लगता है फिक्स डिपॉजिट नहीं बोलते फिक्स डिपॉजिट में, बिकॉज मालूम है, हमको मालूम है, राइट? फिक्स डिपॉजिट है, ये ऐसे होता है, दिस इज हाउ इट हैपेंस, राइट? इट इज इन assets that go up and down, where so-called experts opinion is required, ऊपर जाएगा नीचे जाएगा, that is what people want to know. That happens in gold, that happens in equity, and that's why these questions.
Absolutely. So I am just taking all the questions that has been coming on from Q&A. People have been really gracious in questions. You'll have to give a lot of time. So this first question is from Krishna Bahirwani. It's a very interesting thing. He got interested in gold after US and EU increased money supply. So his understanding is that there is a chance that it might happen again to support the economy. So this is why he's looking at sovereign gold bonds. But he doesn't want to extrapolate on the past returns. So he's asking what would be a good way to set the right expectations for returns.
So the answer to that is I have no idea. Okay, because you conscripted the answer by saying that past to be not considered. Okay, if past is not to be considered, see, gold is a very unique kind of an investment. The productive uses for gold, the value of gold does not come from only the productive. There are productive uses of gold, but the value of gold comes from its scarcity.
Correct.
Right? And the value we impart to it, which in part because of its scarcity.
Right, sir.
Frankly, I'm not an expert on gold. I'm an expert, if I may say so, on investment behavior. Okay.
Right.
I think for retail people trying to unravel this mystery, okay, about what will happen to gold, what should be my return expectation, I think is beyond the scope of this. It's beyond the scope of my expertise. For me, it should be part of your asset this thing because you don't understand it as well probably as equity. Maybe it's 5 to 10%, not 30, 40, 50%. Okay. That's all that I can say. Really. I don't think I can answer technical questions on what will move gold and where will the returns and value come from.
Okay, so there is another question that is equally technical, but in a different light. This is by Akash Bafna. So he's saying, unlike past, there are now multiple ways to invest in gold. Exactly, like physical ETF, sovereign bond, आपने जो भी सब दिखाया. So now the technical part comes in. According to you, which is the best way to invest given the carrying cost, transaction cost, and taxation? अभी आपको
अभी तो बताया. So I think Akash, hopefully you were there. Okay. Between all three, sovereign gold bonds is the best because no transaction costs, exempt on maturity. Okay. No carrying cost. In fact, there is an income. There is a negative carrying cost. You're getting an income. Okay. So very, very clearly, the answer is gold bonds. It wins hands down.
So coming to that part where you said income wala, and you also said in the presentation कि अगर कोई मुझे पूछेगा, I will definitely answer. So Dilshad Bilamoria has asked, why is SGB available at 1% discount rate?
So, okay, I think I had mentioned that we will. So this is something that was explained to me. See, anything needs a market maker.
Correct.
We kept talking of the difference in sale price and repurchase price. When is it low? When there are a lot of people who are arbitraging. Okay? जब बहुत लोग ऐसे होते हैं ना तो वो उसको दोनों भाव आसपास हो जाते हैं, बहुत कम होता है जो इक्विटीज में it is happening, right? The difference between the selling price and the buying price, if you will ever look on a terminal, is literally in paise. Okay? Why is that? Because there are a lot of sellers and there are a lot of buyers, right? Now in gold, okay, the problem with gold is that I don't know if I have lost you guys. The problem with gold is that the number of people who will give you this, okay, is not allowed. In a sovereign gold bond, there are no market makers. So nobody is interested in giving liquidity, right? There is a limit, right? 4 kgs. A market maker needs to keep stock to be able to offer two-way quotes. Right. His stock is limited to 4 kg per person, right? So there are no market makers and hence this discount will remain. Since it has been raised, I'm going to give a very interesting thing to this. Now imagine, as I've told you, the government of India is taking a risk when it is issuing sovereign. That is why the issuance has been limited. Okay. Like tax-free bonds, I feel that if gold prices continue to run up like this, the supply of sovereign gold bonds is going to come down. Okay. So I think it is a good opportunity. I'm not saying go buy, please. Okay. But my point is that this discount can convert into a premium. Okay. And if it is meant for long-term investment, why should it bother you? Why should that? So yeah, it affects your liquidity. Otherwise, on maturity, you will get the market price. On maturity, there is no discount that you have to pay. I hope that answers you, Dilshad.
Definitely. So I'll go on to the next question, which is from Ashish Shah. So very interesting once again. He's saying, for taking some exposure to gold mining companies outside India, which is the best investment option. अभी पकड़ लिया आपको ऑस्ट्रेलिया और साउथ अफ्रीका पे.
There is a DSP gold fund which is supposed to take on gold mining companies. I have no clue to answer. I mean, you can take an exposure to that companies, but please remember, taking exposure to gold mining companies is very different from taking exposure to gold. The profit of the gold mining companies is affected by a lot of things other than the price of gold. Think government taxation, think political unrest, think labor problems, okay? So it is not that if gold prices are rising, the gold mining companies' profits are rising. It is not necessarily a correlation.
Sir, can we extrapolate that to oil versus petrol?
I think we'll skip that for another day. I'm sure there are other questions as well.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So Kunal Satana has asked, can we hedge sovereign gold bonds?
So I think hedges are now available in MCX. But again, as I said, this webinar is meant for retail investors. So if they are going to invest, why would they want to hedge? Okay. So, I mean, hedging is something that's not really part of this scope of this webinar.
Okay. So there is an anonymous attendee who has asked a question that it's a very interesting one. I have always heard that equity and gold are inversely proportional to each other. So is it true? And over the long period, the returns are almost same as you've shown it to us. मतलब एक तो अभी इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल है और अभी आप बोल रहे हो कि रिटर्न्स भी सेम है, तो अभी क्या करें?
मैंने नहीं बोला कि इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल है. Nowhere in my presentation have I said it is inversely proportional.
No, he has heard.
Let's put it this way. Let me just put it this way. That is a popular conception. Okay. We are still doing data to see whether that popular conception is correct or partly correct, partly incorrect or incorrect. Okay. I for one would reserve my opinion on that at the time being. Let me just put one thing. I was extremely surprised at these results. Okay. When we did the analysis and found this, I was extremely surprised. So I agree with the person who raised this query that these results appear very surprising.
So now there is a macroeconomic question from Rohan Jain. If SGB is not backed by physical gold, तो फिर forex outflow क्यों है?
SGB में नहीं है. So the government has come out with SGB to reduce the forex outflow. Okay, but the risk there is then you are taking risk on the government. Okay, and I think if we stay in a country reasonably stable, I think we better be able to take a risk on the government.
Right. Jitendra Jyotsingani has asked which SGB one is available at a discount?
All of them. All of them.
Exactly. Very easy answer. Madhusudan has asked a question that one of his investor, senior citizen, he wants to invest in gold. He doesn't know anything. So Madhusudan is saying that he doesn't know anything about gold investment. So please suggest him what he can recommend it to the senior citizen investor client that he has.
So I think senior citizen, like any other client, okay, as I mentioned, it has to be part of your overall plan. He would have an overall plan for that client, right? How much money does the client need? What are his resources? Till how long is he planning? 85, 90. Does he have any other requirements? Okay. Obviously, cash flow requirements to the extent of 2.5% interest on SGB you can take into account. What you're really investing in SGB for would be for capital appreciation. Is he paying taxes? Is he low on taxes? So I think SGB will go for that part of his investment. It will be a small part. I cannot, just like equity will be a small part of a senior citizen, so will gold be, because it is as volatile as equity is, right? So it has to be done as per a plan. That is all that I can say.
We'll move on to the next question by Bijay Bagaria. He's saying, can we do SIP in SGB by buying it every month from the exchange?
Yes, you can, Bijay ji. And we have had this discussion personally with him as well. My point is, I think we go against human behavior.
Yeah.
Okay? When you do something that does not require any further action, chance of it happening, the chance of your emotion interfering with your decision does not happen. Now imagine, so I will just give you one example. we decide, let us say Bijayji decides that 50,000 rupees every month I will invest through the market. So he tells his broker, first of every month I will send you 50,000. Whatever comes in that many bonds you buy.
Correct.
So first of all, the broker may find that he can only get it for 47,000 or 52,000. So he buys for 47,000, returns back the 3,000, right? Next month again he gives. Now it depends. Every month Mr. Bagaria has to send money to the broker. His broker has to manually punch in the order. The chances of something going wrong, one. Something not happening are very high, one. Two, okay, the emotions interfering. Suppose from 50 it drops to 20. It can happen. I'm not saying it will happen. It can happen. Okay. At that time, you will say, oh, boss, खरीदूं कि नहीं खरीदूं? नहीं करता. Okay. Whereas, आपने SIP लगा दिया, भूल गए. Okay. SIP में जा रहा है, and that is worth it. I mean, the scheme that I have suggested, कि your investment goes via SIP, you keep converting it into SGB after a year. You need to wait for a year, unfortunately, because of the exit load. Okay. Or you can even take the exit load and keep converting it. Does not matter. But then that's a 1% cost that you incur. Okay. I would strongly recommend that you go by, so behavior में बहुत ताकत है. Okay. Making your investments, fill it, shut it, forget it, has far more power than this determination ki I will do. Determination has a determination is okay to do things at one time, two times. Determination breaks down against monotony. Okay, so I would say do the SIP and conversion into SGB rather than doing a SIP into SGB through the market. But it's a decision that each client has to take for himself.
Awesome, superb, sir. Manish Saluja, he's asked us to guide, I mean, if you can guide him, that where can he invest in MMTC PAM?
Paytm, he can go through Paytm, GPay, at least those two I know. Or better is for him to look at the website of MMTC PAMP and they will be able to. I mean, I'm not really, I'm not an agent for MMTC PAMP.
Right. So there's a question here from Kanan LK. They've asked that, can you throw some light on making charges for gold ETF?
So they are
applicable when there is no physical delivery, and how much will these drag down the returns?
So there is delivery because they are taking delivery. The fund is taking delivery, right? And cost is coming to you, obviously. It's into the cost, right? But obviously they are a wholesale buyer. They are a large buyer. So they will obviously be able to get those charges fairly economically.
Right. Right. So there is a question from Vinod Asawa. He wasn't the part of presentation for a most part of time. That's why he's asked, what is your view on paper versus physical gold? Retail are more towards physical. So how do you explain them? So I think, one thing that I really took from the presentation was your social signaling devices comment, if you can just throw some light on that.
So it's very strong, right? As my wife says, she's sitting right next to me. Okay. So you cannot wear gold bonds around your ears, right?
Right.
If you need jewelry to go out on a social occasion, jewelry, gold bonds can't do that for you, right? So, but I'm saying just segregate those two needs. What you need for your personal, don't even treat it as an investment. Sure, it has some value. Treat it as an investment. I think the mistake we have made is saying, I will enjoy this also, and this is a good investment also. Okay. That is not right. I think Vinod is saying only investment bars. Yeah. So investment bars would have fairly low making charges. I mean, just has to make sure that he buys it from a good place, hallmarked place preferably, and making charges are reduced, in which case it's fine. We did mention that gold bars and all are decent investments.
Correct. Correct. Probably because it was house full, couldn't get in, and then later on. So, okay. The next line of question is from Trupti Vani. Is there any way we can buy e-silver?
So again, MMTC PAM, they have e-silver as well. Okay, digital silver. It's not e-silver. It's digital silver. So they keep it in the godown for you.
So there's another anonymous.
I'm not pushing only MMTC PAM as well. Please find them on the net.
Right, right. So there is another anonymous attendee who has asked your views on sovereign gold bonds during such turbulent times or turbulent bonds. I'm not sure if that anonymous attendee would have given the name. I would have asked them, is it turbulent times or turbulent bonds?
So he's asking views on trading them.
So that is not investment, and I think that is outside the scope of what we are talking. This is meant for investors. So I think I am not the right person to be advising on trading. I don't do trading myself. Not the right person.
Trupti Murlidhar, she's asking, I mean, if you can elaborate on why gold ETF are expensive. It was a part of your presentation. Probably, if you can just run it again one more time.
So my point is, I have never understood this ETF concept. Gold ETFs make no sense at all. Okay. Because if you can buy gold ETFs, you can buy sovereign gold bonds. Okay. Now gold ETFs cost money. Sovereign gold bonds give you money. Gold ETFs have a bid-ask spread. Okay. In fact, मतलब बेचने जाओ तो बिकता नहीं है, खरीदने जाओ तो ऊंचे भाव में मिलता है. ओके, सोवरेन गोल्ड बॉन्ड में भी सेम होता है, बट द डिफरेंसेस आई थिंक आर लोअर. ओके, मेरा पॉइंट इज दे सफर फ्रॉम द सेम डिसएडवांटेजेस. ऑन मैच्योरिटी सोवरेन गोल्ड बॉन्ड is tax exempt. It's giving you 2.5%. Okay, which effectively becomes more because it is available at a discount. Okay, so मतलब आपको ब्याज मिल रहा है, tax exempt है on maturity. Why would you even think? The only thing ETF has over sovereign gold bond is that it has underlying physical gold.
Right.
Okay, whereas sovereign gold bond is guaranteed by the government of India. Now, if you think underlying physical gold is something that and large investors need it. Okay, somebody who's investing in a ton of gold does not trust the government of India. I don't blame him. Okay, but somebody who's investing in 100 grams, 200 grams of gold, 500 grams of gold, I think we have other things to worry about than government of India defaulting on its liabilities.
Correct, correct. So Virat here is asking if you can please repeat, if SIP includes gold MF, gold mutual fund to SGB route, or gold ETF to SGB route.
Gold ETF to SGB सवाल ही नहीं है. If you can buy from the exchange, buy SGB only, no? Okay. It's only gold fund which allows a very convenient way to do SIP. From there, you shift to SGB.
Right, right. So there is another question. ये ऐसा question है कि ये ऐसे ही time पे आता है जब भी एकदम market bullish होता है या फिर gold prices bullish होता है. It is from the line of Ashit said, you think the current run-up is justified? Will it hold higher levels and last? In your opinion, which rate will it peak out? And does technical analysis really work in gold? I mean, yes, it's. Please, give us your views.
I have no idea. All four.
Okay.
And I don't think, to be more serious, that an investor needs to worry about that. That is what I'm saying. You don't have to worry. When you do systematic investments, you don't have to worry about these things. See, one thing I want to tell everything, I mean, very few people are now left, probably 60 odd people now.
Correct.
This quest for maximizing return, मुझे मैक्स चाहिए, मैं सबसे सस्ता खरीदूंगा और सबसे महंगा बेचूंगा, सबसे नीचे में खरीदूंगा और सबसे महंगे में बेचूंगा. ओके, उस चक्कर में इतना पैसा डूबा है लोगों का, ओके, कि मैं बता नहीं सकता. Versus, so SIP is boring. Okay, every month just put money, don't look at the price, don't look at the return. जा रहा है, जा रहा है, जा रहा है. I have clients जो बाद में 3 साल बाद में स्टेटमेंट देखते हैं, 5 साल बाद में स्टेटमेंट देखते हैं, they don't realize, अच्छा मेरा इतना पैसा जमा हो गया, रिटर्न छोड़ो, पैसे जमा हो गए. ओके, सो मेरा पॉइंट इज कि give human behavior a chance. Your excitement costs money. Just remember.
I think that is the tagline for the day. Excitement costs money. I think really, really well summarized. With that, I'll go to the next question from Madhusudan. And I'll tell you why. I said excitement costs money. He's asking that he feels instead of investing in gold, just invest in equity. And when you want gold, redeem the mutual fund or equity and then buy gold. So he's asking, is it a good idea?
In equity, you will get equity returns. In gold, you will get gold. Of course, 1 minute. See, this is a classic, excellent example he gave. I really love this question. Who asked this?
Madhusudan.
So Madhusudan, you have asked a lovely question. And as somebody who explained to me in a far more earthier language, his point was, I don't need to buy a cow if I want milk, right? I just need the money to be able to buy the milk. Even if I want a cow 10 years from now, I don't need to keep a calf now. I just need the money that will help me buy a cow. Okay. So 10 years later, I want gold. Does not mean I have to invest in gold, start investing from today. I did mention that our cultural says that we will need some gold, so that should be, but that's just one more additional reason why you should invest in gold. Gold investment as a part of your asset mix makes sense, 5 to 10%. And yeah, perfectly fine if you are more the person who wants to have higher exposure to equity, as long as the period is 8 to 10 years and you need the gold later. Okay, and you believe that gold is not a good investment, okay,
right,
and very clearly invest systematically in equity, okay, and as and when the time comes, taper your needs. So again, like equity, like gold, don't wait till the time you need the money. Start tapering into safer instruments as you go, as you reach. So maybe 2 years before the time you need gold, start converting it into gold.
Okay. So I think, so this one question from Arjun Datta is, right up to your absolute expertise, is to what extent return from sovereign gold bond is tax exempted or nothing is exempt?
So the interest is taxable. The capital gains on maturity, which means when you give it back for redemption to the government, that is tax exempt. If you sell it in the market, you have to pay capital gains as you would pay for any other asset.
Correct. So Weber Rumta has asked, exit load will then apply when we shift from gold MF to SGB in the form of SIPs.
That's why I said the 1 year limit. The exit load typically is for 1 year. That's what I meant.
Right.
Shift it, every installment, shift it one at a time.
Right. So finally, we've come to the last question. Again, it is from Manish Saluja, and so now he's saying he's asking, just because the underlying gold is missing, can it happen that a SGB investor, sovereign gold bond investor, who is allotted in grams, not getting the price equivalent to gold price on maturity after 8 years is what his question is. I mean, can it happen?
His guess is as good as mine. See, it's a solemn promise made by the government of India in a legally enforceable contract. Okay. Will the government default? I don't think so. Okay. But I mean, it's a judgment call you take. Why would the government default? Right now it is small. You're talking of 41 tons. Right? The average demand every year is 690 tons, about roughly 700 tons. This is 41 tons over 3.5 years. Okay. So right now it's too small. I would start worrying when this becomes a large percentage of the overall demand, which they have taken care to keep it small.
Okay. So with that, we wrap it up for today. I think, it's been a great and lovely evening of getting the best of the knowledge from you. And so Saurabh wants to say something.
Yeah, I just want to say that for all the people who are there, and some people have been putting this on the chat as well, that this webinar is on demand. So the recording of this video will be available to you. A link by Zoom will be automatically sent to you. So you can watch it later and maybe even share with other people.
You can also share it with other people. You will just to watch the recording, you might have to re-register. That is all. But otherwise, the recording would be available.
Yes.
Right. And we'll definitely, want to come back because ye dil mange more. So, sir, with that, I'm off. Final comments from you. And Saurabh, if you have any.
So for me, I think let's treat gold in an unemotional, investor-like manner. It is like any other investment. Make it boring. I think that is what I would say.
Nothing from my side. I mean, for us itself, this was fun making this presentation, and we ourselves discovered these aspects of gold, and I'm sure that it would have been as much enlightening for you. And like Harji said, that make it as a plan to invest not only in gold, in any other asset class, and systematically, step by step, if we keep accumulating, definitely all these asset class will help in creating enormous wealth for us.
Okay, good evening everyone. Everyone have a great weekend and stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
See you all. Bye.